Joy from work.
It's a public note for promoting a service or an event. For example, if you have a party, you probably get the information on a leaflet. So there is an ad, okay, it's an advertisement, and it's for publicizing a job vacancy. So it's important to remind this, okay? So in the case of the first handout or module 1, a roommate Tony was looking for an apartment. And this is a short piece of information that appeared at the newspaper. Then we can see here the interview. In this, I mentioned that we have different type of interview. For example, when you are in with your friends at a party, you have informal meetings, and there most of the time there are short conversation that people ask you, hey, hi, what's your name? Oh, my name is Alejandro or Paul or Inglés. Where do you live? Are you studying? So it's a little bit, the conversation is in relation your personal life, to have a to have a first contact, okay, and then they are going to know each other, or you are going to know them, probably if you are your friends probably share with you certain kind of hobbies or things that you like, so that that is the main reason that they are your friends. So most of the time when you are new in a group, they want to know your name, okay, or your nickname, for example. But there are others interview that are a little bit more formal. For example, the ones that I want to focus, the job interviews. Okay, so you see that he looks formal. He's well, have a tail. Okay, he's he have a clean aspect, neat aspect, and he is the boss probably, and she is the applicant. Okay, and this in this part is very important because this is probably the CV or curriculum vitae or the application form that contain all the personal information of this person. Okay, so in this case she is the applicant and he is the employer or the boss or the ones who is going to interview. Okay, and so this is formal. The situation is formal. Probably they are in an enterprise or in a company or any situation. When you apply for a job, you when you are looking, probably you need to get information about that job. For example, if you want to work in a bank, probably they are going to ask you to dress formally, okay? But if you are going to apply as an actor, probably the way you dress is not very important, okay? There are different kind of jobs where the way you look or the way you dress is very important. But for example, as a chef, depend on the restaurant, depend the situation, depends on the requirements of that place. So it's very important that you check uh, at the very beginning where are you going to apply. Okay, if you like that place, it's like when you it's not your decision, but when your parents, for example, applying you to a kind of school. For example, we have private school, uh, public school. So in some kind of school, they're very strict, very formal. They demand that you dress in a way, and in other situation they don't mind and they are a little bit relaxed. So uh, this is very important. Okay, so formal, we have to follow certain kind of behaviors, certain kind of patterns, and the way we dress, we speak. Okay, so we are going to continue with this, and I'm going to show you how is formal. Okay, the formal way, or in which aspect are you going to notice that it's a formal situation. So we are going to, most of the time you don't put an order in your room, or are you organized? Neat, remember neat? Neat was that you are organized, and messy is the opposite. Okay, are you a person that worry too much with the things? You get nervous or you control? Are you communicative person, or you are a shy person? Are you punctual, for example? Good to like to work with group, with team, or you prefer to work alone, for example? There are different personal characteristics that you probably are going to discover. Are you a hardworking person? Are you responsible? Or do you like other activity, freelance activity? You prefer do a sport? Or so there are many things that you can think about, which are your personal characteristics. Okay, and hobbies also. For example, do you play guitar? And do you like listening to music? Or probably you like reading? So that are hobbies. Or do you like painting? Or if you want to emphasize in a conversation that you have a specific talent, that you have an excellent at playing the violin, and excellent at playing the guitar, at using the computer, that is very important to highlight. Okay, remember that you are interested in getting the job. But this is an example, for example, of an application form. Normally teenager, adolescent want to apply to McDonald's to work, in this case Subway. So you can see personal information, your telephone number, uh, your last name, your first name, or the middle name. Okay, so address, suburb, state, postcode, date of birth, tax number. For example, another question: have you ever worked for Subway before? Yes, no. If yes, when? In the past. Where? Specific place. La Florida, Las Condes, Ñuñoa. And in the case of emergency, notify a family name. Okay, your last name is like your surname. In my case, Araya, your first name, Alejandra. An application forms, normally you have to fill out, you have to complete. In which places, for example, normally they require an application form. This is an official document. For example, when you get your identity card, I miss a D, please. A driver license, when you get a passport or visa or scholarship. At school, most of the time your parents have to fill out an application form. Or when you, in the future, for example, you want to buy a house, probably they are going to request it. You are going to be, you are going to need more money, so you are going to ask a loan, okay, at the bank, in a bank. or in any transaction that you have to do in a bank, saving account, current account, you have to complete or fill out an application form. Okay, and it's very important that now with technology you sign up for an internet site and so on. So another question, for example, what do you do for a living? I work for Toyota, for example. I worked for Scotiabank. I work for insurance company. It's very important that I want to emphasize the meaning of work, okay? As a noun, when it means employment, okay? That means in España como sustantivo cuando esto significa trabajo, un empleo. Usualmente is uncountable, no se puede contabilizar, es abstracto. So you can't say I have a work, okay? No puedes decir yo tengo un trabajo así, a work, because remember the work is a verb, a indicate that is followed by a verb. However, you can say I have a job. Sin embargo, sí puedes decir I have a job. Okay? So remember, work is the verb and job is the noun. Okay? So that is very important. And when we continue in relation with the job interview, we are going to talk about our duties in a job. For example, if you have experience, which duties, what is the meaning of duty? It's something that you have to do. It's part of your job, okay? For example, if you drive a bus, probably your duty is get a special license. So that is, as a teacher, for example, my duties are pre-planning classes, organize activities, look for information, be updated. So it's part of your responsibility. And for example, a chef, which are his or her duties. They have to prepare food, plan a meal, check the healthy products. So the duties are part of the responsibility. If you, for example, are a flight attendant, probably part of your duties, part of your duty could be dress formally. Okay, you wear a uniform. An engineer, for example, they probably work with figures, manage with math, or make certain figures mathematically talking, or repairing things. The same, you have to manage with tools, for example, and use technology, maybe use software, computer things, or different kind of machines. In which places can we find an advertisement? One advert. You can see here in a newspaper, at a highlight spot, or in a leaflet, for example, we can find a job, an advert. Okay, remember this is part of, it's a product. Okay, it's for showing, it's a notice, it's an announcement to to communicate something, a service, an event, a publicity, a job vacancy, and so on. So this we can find in these places, in a newspaper, in a magazine, on the radio, also on a different kind of publicity, okay, on the televisions, leaflet, poster. So brands, for example, there are different kind of editions, different forms, and normally we can see that this we'd like all applicants to have solid prior experience in a similar setting. The hours are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., male or female, and we offer competitive salary and benefits. If you think you might be a good fit for our office, please reply to this posting and submit a cover letter and resume. Okay, the resume is the CV. So you can see that it's quite interesting, this ad. Okay, you must be kind, and they are looking for a kind person with excellent interpersonal skill. That means communicative and nice, okay, respectful, good manners. So and also they have you are going to be part of a good enterprise, okay, and they say keywords competitive, for example, competitive salary. Probably they are going to offer you a good wage. So this is an example. And then if we continue with the job interview that play the role.
Hello, my name's Jared. Today we're going to look at tips for job interviews in English. First, practice. You only get a few minutes to impress the interview panel, so make sure that you practice the answers to common interview questions. Ask a friend to play the role of an interviewer. Answer the questions and get some feedback from your friend. Try again until you're happy with your responses. Next, make sure that you research the company you are applying to. If you know someone who already works there, maybe you could ask them about working for the company. If you don't know anyone, you could do some online research to find out what kind of company they are. Also, research the latest developments in the relevant business area. This sort of information will really impress the interviewers and also show that you have initiative. Our next tip is to look the part. Appearances do matter in a job interview. It is important that you look smart and professional. Make sure your clothes are appropriate. First appearances are important. Make sure that you smile and make eye contact with the interviewers. Don't forget to speak clearly and not too fast. Give yourself time to think about your responses. Lastly, don't forget to ask questions too. This shows that you're genuinely interested in the position and the company. Do ask questions about professional development and career prospects, for example. If you're hoping to use English for work, a Cambridge English Business Certificate could help you succeed. To find out more, visit our website. Good luck with getting that job. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so probably you can listen again. I'm going to try to check, or I'm going to put in another way to submit. But it's important that probably in a job interview you are going to listen different kind of questions. For example, do you question like this. Do you work in a factory in this moment, or are you working in this moment, or have you worked in a factory before? Do you work in an office? Do you work with your hands? Do you work at the weekends? Do you work with people? Do you work with machines? Another kind of question that probably you hear in a job interview is, do you like wearing a uniform? Have you ever sold something by eBay, Mercado Libre? Do you like selling products, for example? Another question could be, how can you contribute to our company or enterprise? So if you have a look, most of these questions are related to present tense. So for example, here, my sister works in a bank, but the present continuous will say, today, specifically today, this moment, she's working at home, okay? But she works normally every day in a bank, but today she's working at home. Or when I talk about frequency, I always have breakfast at 7. I never, remember the frequency adverbs? Always, usually, often, sometime, hardly ever. So you normally use all those adverbs with the simple present. But in present continue, you say, it's 7 o'clock now. I'm having breakfast. It's 7 now. I'm having breakfast. So it's different, okay? In this part here, you indicate the right moment. For example, we use present simple to talk about activities that we do every day, every week, every year. It's something that is common regularly, but it's different the present continuous, because the present continuous refers to an activity that is happening now, at this moment, at the moment that I am speaking now, okay? So to continue, to give you a wide view of the present simple present, have a look to this. Alex is a bus driver, but now he's in bed asleep. Okay, so we can see that he's not driving a bus, he's asleep, but he drives a bus every day. So the verb change because we are talking about he. He drives, remember, he works, or he does art. Remember that if you talk about you say, I drive, I work, I do homework. But if you talk about another person, he or she, singular, you have to add an S. Question, very important. In question 4, we use the auxiliary do or does to make question and also for make negative sentences. For example, do I work? Do you work? Do we work? Do they work? Do you drive a bus, for example? Or does, in the case you use he, she, or it. Does he do his homework every day? Does he do sport? Does she paint landscape every day? So this is very important that you don't forget. Auxiliaries before the noun, okay? Before the pronoun, always. Okay, this is the structure. Auxiliary, the subject, and the verb. And the final question. We use the present simple to talk about things. in general. We use it to say that something happens all the time or repeatedly, or that something is true in general. For example, nurses look after patients in hospital. Okay, now that we are talking about coronavirus, for example, nurses are really worried about our health. So they are looking after the patients. But as they is a typical word, which are their duties, for example, is that they look after patients in hospital. Another example, I usually go away at weekends. The earth is something that is true. The earth goes round the sun. The cafe opens 7:30 in the morning. For example, if we talk about the mall, Florida Center, for example, opens at 10:30 in the morning. Every day, it's normal. Okay. Another things that you don't have to forget is the affirmative form. Okay, the sentence. I work, but if you say he works. They teach, but my sister, she teaches. Okay, so don't forget to add the S or ES. Okay, the spelling rules. The negative form also. We use the pronoun I, we, you, or they. Don't work. You can say he doesn't drive, she doesn't drive, it doesn't drive, or it doesn't do. She doesn't do, he doesn't do. So this is the way we mark the present, okay, the negative form. Read these examples. I come from Canada. Where do you come from? Okay, where do you come from? I come from Canada. Where do you come from? In a party, for example, you present, I come from Chile. Where do you come from? I don't go away very often. What does this word mean? Like meaning, okay? What does this word mean? Not what means this word. Rice doesn't grow in cold climates. Okay, that is a fact. It's something that always happens. In the following examples, do is also the main verb. So sometimes you confuse. That is why I put this example. Do you do? Doesn't do. Because we do words have two words. One is as a verb and other is like an auxiliary. It indicates tense, present tense. For example, here, what do you do? Here is the job as an auxiliary and he is working as a verb. What do you do? I work in a shop. He's always so lazy. He doesn't do anything to help. He doesn't do anything to help. We use the present simple to say how often we do things. For example, I get up at 8 o'clock every morning. How often do you go to the dentist? Julie doesn't drink tea very often. Robert usually goes away 2 or 3 times a year. So this is the way we use the simple present. Okay, don't forget the auxiliaries, the markers, that stop probably. So Paul is very tired. He's been working very hard. He's tired now. Okay, what can I say? That he's tired, que él está cansado. Probably, I suppose that he has been working. What are your clothes, link here, so dirty? What have you been doing? ¿Por qué tu ropa está tan sucia? What have you been doing? ¿Qué has estado haciendo? So I realized that you finished just not many time ago. I've been talking to Amanda about the problem and she agrees with me. I've been talking. I just talked. Acabo de conversar con ella. Where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. ¿Dónde has estado? I've been looking for you. Te he estado buscando por todos lados. Or, for example, if you see the pavement wet, si uno ve el pavimento mojado, you probably say it's been raining for 2 hours. Está lloviendo por 2 horas, but not now, pero no ahora. So that is the difference. Okay? The present perfect continuous indicate an activity that has recently stopped or just stopped. So have a look to the 4 here. Have, has been is the way we form. We have I, we, they, have, been, and is followed by an ing verb. ¿Ya? Es una forma compuesta, compleja, porque tiene 3 verbos. ¿Ya? Tenemos have, que siempre tiene que estar en presente, por eso se llama presente perfecto. ¿Ya? O sea, it's not simple, no es simple, no un presente simple, es un presente perfecto. That means that is complex, es un poco más complejo. It involves 2 or 3 verbs. Puede involucrar 2 o 3 verbos. En este caso 3. I have been playing at the park. They have been waiting for 2 hours. Okay, you have been doing homeworks or exercises. He has, she has, it has been, and the verb with ing. We use the present perfect continuous in this way, especially with how long. Okay, how long? How is a question word, but it now is followed with an adjective. How long have you been painting? ¿Cuánto tiempo has estado pintando? How long have you been studying? How long have you been traveling? And we normally use the preposition for and since for answer. Okay, the activity is still happening, as in this example, or has just stopped. For example, how long have you been learning English? You are still learning English? Tim is still watching TV. He's been watching TV all day. Where have you been? I've been looking for you for the last half hour. Chris hasn't been feeling well recently. Okay, so in all these situations, the activity has just stopped. You can use the present perfect continuous for actions, repeated action over a period of time. For example, Sylvia is a very good tennis player. She's been playing since she was 8. Okay, it's an expression that we normally use. Sylvia is a very good tennis player. Sylvia es una jugadora de tenis muy buena. He's been playing, ha estado jugando since she was 8. Desde que tenía 8. ¿Ya? This is una expression. ¿Ya? Una acción repetida por un periodo de tiempo. Every morning they meet in the same cafe. So they've been going there for years. Cada mañana ellos se reúnen en el mismo café. So this is a repeated action. They've been going there. Ellos han ido ahí por años. We use the present perfect continuous to say how long for something that is still happening. For example, also we use si una actividad sigue ocurriendo. También lo podemos usar. How long have you been reading that book? ¿Cuánto tiempo has estado leyendo ese libro? Lisa is writing email. She's been writing emails all morning. Lisa ha estado escribiendo correos. Ella ha estado escribiendo toda la mañana. The activity didn't stop. It's still happening. La actividad todavía no termina. Todavía está ocurriendo. Probably they are going to finish soon. Okay? So remember that how long you can use when you have just finished or if the activity is still happening. They've been playing tennis since 2 o'clock. They've been playing tennis since 2 o'clock. Ellos han estado jugando tenis desde las 2. So probably sooner than later they are going to finish. Más temprano que tarde van a terminar. I'm learning Arabic, but I haven't been learning it very long. So the same. Okay? I'm learning Arabic. Ellos están aprendiendo árabe, but I haven't been learning it very long. Pero no lo están aprendiendo mucho. Okay? Also, I want to mention, in the case that you confuse or you have seen it in question or text, the use of a part of how long, we use how much, how many times, okay? So these are expressions that we use with how. How much of that book have you read? ¿Cuánto de ese libro have you read? ¿Has leído? Lisa is writing emails. She has sent a lot of emails this morning. I played tennis 3 times this week. I'm learning Arabic, but I haven't learned very much yet. Yo estoy aprendiendo árabe, but I haven't learned, pero no he aprendido very much yet. No he aprendido mucho. So, I want to show you things that you don't have to do in a job interview, okay?
People have their interviews on the internet. Okay, here they are. And when I hit this, they'll be able to see us. So come on and get in here close so we can be seen in the webcam. No, hit cheek to cheek. Nick, come here, but don't crowd me.
We can see you guys.
You have
Dale,
to
says here you
be
graduated from Cal State
responsible,
Bakersfield
punctual,
with a degree in
tolerant,
business administration.
show the
And
best
then
of
there's a
you.
long
But
gap in your employment
before we
history.
finish, I want to show you
And your only reference is
worst
from a
job
hand wrench,
interview.
which you've
Las peores
handwritten on this
entrevistas.
resume.
Have a look, listen, and
what
guess
is your point?
why.
Tell me
are
a
the
little bit
worst.
about what would your boss that you had at your last job, if I called him up and asked him what kind of employee you were, what would he say about you?
He will say bad things, but that is because he is a liar.
We've already offered you a position.
Nobody in this town works without a retainer, guys. You think you can find somebody who does, we tell you have my blessing. But I think we all know that person's not going to represent you as well as I can.
Well, our offer is $84,000 a year plus
Retainer. Retainer.
So, Mr. Cooper, you're looking for a job.
A menial job. Like yours.
Why, thank you for noticing. I'm Menial Employee of the Month.
Well, Brennan, you certainly have had a lot of jobs.
I'm a bit of a spark plug and human resources lady.
It's Pam.
I'm sorry. Well, Pan.
No, my name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I'm saying Pam.
It says here on your resume that you spent the last 15 years as a sales rep for Dow Chemical.
That's right.
You know, we live together, right?
Yes.
And I've never seen you go to work, ever.
Okay.
So why is this on your resume?
Do you have any special skills?
Oh, yes. I do. I do voices.
What do you mean you do voices?
Are you telling me that this photo of Bruce Jenner is your resume?
Well, when I showed up this morning, I didn't have a formal resume on me, so I was sort of hoping the photograph of Mr. Jenner could represent the standard of excellence I'm hoping to bring to this position.
Well, I do voices.
Yeah! We've come to this planet looking for intelligent life. Oops, we made a mistake.
We're happy to be in America. Don't ask for a green card.
Let me ask you a question right off the bat. What do you think are your greatest strengths as a manager?
Why don't I tell you what my greatest weaknesses are? I work too hard, I care too much, and sometimes I can be too invested in my job.
It's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care. Don't care? It's a problem of motivation, all right?
Okay. And your strengths?
I want you in the worst way.
Do you have any experience?
No, sir, I have no experience, but I'm a big fan of money. I like it. I use it. I have a little. I keep it in a jar on top of my refrigerator. I'd like to put more in that jar. That's where you come in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Who is this gentleman sitting behind you?
Hello, Ms. Lady. I'm Dale. I'm Brennan's stepbrother, and I think I might be able to help with the Pan-Pam dilemma.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Pam.
Pam, oh no.
Let me just ask you a question. What was your last job?
Senior theoretical particle physicist at Caltech, focusing on M theory, or in layman's terms, string theory.
I see. Just give me a second. Security!
Interview. So remember that is in a job interview, it's important to show or emphasize what kind of person are you. Are you agreeable, punctual, honest? Would you like to work with teams? You like working, you prefer work, a job at late or in the morning? And do you like sport? Which are your interpersonal characteristics? Are you cheerful, enthusiastic, friendly, adaptable, reliable, trustful, confident, helpful, useful? Okay, so it's important that after this but I want that you think, where would you like to work in the future? Would you like to work in an indoor place or in an outdoor place? Would you like indoor in an office, inside a room, in a classroom, or would you like to stay on the street, working in a construction? Watching the sky. So probably you think, okay, remember, have a look to the handout, the grammar worksheet that is in the Facebook. Submit and have a look to the question form. Okay, how important is to do